takes us to our next section, which is the household information. We're going to click Start to begin. In the household menu, the first section is going to be for household members, and we will click the Add button to get started. Tell us about the people on your household. With the 25.9 release, there's been additional information to help our consumers decide who should be included on their application to make that clear. That caret up here can collapse that information as desired. We're going to start by adding the information for our enrollee, excuse me. And of course, to help us verify household member identity, please make sure to fill out the fields as they show on birth certificate or any other government issued document. I'm going to go ahead and start entering in our consumer. Jack is the first name and Lou is last name. He does not have a suffix. However, there are options for junior, senior, the first, second, and so on. And then we're going to enter the date of birth for Jack. Once that information has been entered, our next button populates. And there'll be different information asked about Jack. The first section is, what is Jack's sex? There are choices: female, male, transgender, female to male, and transgender, male to female. Jack has informed us that he's male, and then we'll click next to continue. The next question is a marital status. You have single, never married, married, widowed, divorced, or registered domestic partner as choices. Jack has informed us that he is married, so that's what we'll select, and then we'll be able to click the next button. The next page is about information for phone, cell phone, work number, or email address. Even though they are optional, we want to get as much information as we can for Jack. We will go ahead and enter in a cell phone number, and he's also provided us with an email address. Once you enter the email address, it is required to enter again for confirmation. So with that information entered, the next button populates and we're able to continue. On the next page, what language is best to write to Jack, and in what language should we speak to Jack? There are tooltips that explain those questions. As you can see in our drop-down on which language is best to write to Jack, there are several different choices, up to 12. We're going to select English, and the same thing on the language that he wishes to be spoken to. There are different selections. We're choosing English. And then clicking the next button to continue. The next question is about future communications about their eligibility. Are they need to be sent in an alternative format? There is a link that provides the information on what alternative formats are available: large print, audio electronic format, data electronic format, and Braille. Jack has replied that he does not need any alternative format, so we'll leave it at no, which it automatically defaults to, and then click next. The next page is in regards to race and nationality, and Cover California uses this information to help provide and improve access to healthcare for everyone. If you choose to answer the questions, your answers will be confidential. The information will not be used to decide what health or dental insurance you qualify for. As you notice, they are saying they're optional questions, but it is encouraged that we make sure we provide the consumer the option to answer those questions. First being, is Jack of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin? We're answering no. And Jack has indicated that he's white. Clicking next to continue. Sex and gender questions. The information will be used to help provide and improve access to health care for everyone. It is not to be used to decide what health or dental insurance you may qualify for. First question is in regards to Jack's gender and selecting the option that best describes your current gender identity. As you can see, there are 6 different options to choose from, and Jack has said that he is male. Next question is, what sex was listed on Jack's original birth certificate? He's informed us also that is male. And then the last question, does Jack think of himself as either straight or heterosexual, gay or lesbian, bisexual, queer, another sexual orientation, or unknown? Jack has informed us that he is straight. So we'll select that and then click the Done button. All of the information about Jack in the introduction section has been completed. As you can see, there's a new tile with a picture, Jack's first name, initial of his last name, and his age. There is a review link if there is any reason to go back and change his answers. And here's where we will be able to add a new member. And Jack has informed us that he's married and he'd like to add his wife. So I'm going to click click the new member button, not the done. Sorry about that. So clicking new member, we're going to enter the information about Jack's spouse, which is first name is Jill, last name is Lou, and her date of birth. Once the first, last name, and date of birth have been entered, the next button populates for Jill. And those same answers, those same questions that were provided for Jack are also for Jill. And she is indicating that she is female and that she is married. And then the information about contact information for phone, cell, work phone number, or email address. Currently, they're only wanting to provide the email address for Jill, which is the same as it was for Jack. Clicking the next button to continue. The language best to write to Jill, and the language should we speak to Jill. Choosing English for both selections. Clicking next to continue. The alternative formats, communication question, and none of that is needed for Jill. And again, that defaults to the no response. So we're clicking next to continue. The next page is about the relationship between Jill and Jack. We have selections of spouse partner, child dependent, sibling, extended family, and other relationship. There's a caret by each one, which breaks down those relationships. Providing that response that Jill is Jack's spouse. Clicking next to continue. The race and nationality questions. Jill has responded that yes, she is of a of Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and that she is Mexican American. And again, for Jill's race, you can select all that apply. We're also going to include white and Filipino, as you can select more than one for the nationality races. Clicking next to continue, the sex and gender questions. Jill has responded that she is female, and that is what was listed on her birth certificate. And she thinks of herself as straight or heterosexual. Clicking done to continue, we are now showing Jack and Jill on the application. We can add additional members as needed. However, they're the only two for the application. So I'm going to click done to complete that. And as you can see, our household members, there is the edit button if any information needs to be changed.